Recording in progress.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Premium Picks. Today we are going to break down UFC Fight Night Amanda Lemos versus Rob Schneider. Verna Jandiroba. Last card we did really well. I wish I bet more. I quadrupled my money, but it was just a card that I didn't like the fights. And to be honest, this card seems more of the same. It's a pretty bad card, but let's go through these fights and see if we can find some spots to invest and make some money. First fight of the night, we've got Muhammad Usman versus Thomas Peterson. Sorry, Usman coming in at minus 138, Peterson plus 110. I'm usually looking to fade Usman. I don't think he's very good, but I actually like him here. I think he can win this fight. I think he should win this fight. Um, I think he'll be able to stop the takedowns because he's just such a stocky football player kind of build brick shit house, whatever you want. Like he's just so stocky that I don't think Peterson's going to be able to use his wrestling here. And Peterson is a terrible striker, so I like Usman to kind of sprawl and brawl and beat him up on the feet. And on top of that, I can't believe I'm saying it, but I actually think there's some value on Usman. And I hate the guy. Like I do not like Usman, but I think he's actually one of the few spots that I will play. So I like Usman to win, sprawl and brawl. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's gonna sprawl and brawl as well. His takedown defense, it doesn't really get tested from time to time. Peterson's more of a ground fighter than he is a fucking stand-up fighter in the first place. But I don't know. Muhammad Usman, the last time he knocked someone out was what, Pogues or Paugus?
Yeah, no, no, fuck, I don't know. I know who it is. It's the Ultimate Fighter guy.
Yeah, it was
Fucking,
Zach Paugus, who was actually
yeah,
friggin'
yeah, Palaga or something. Yeah,
yeah,
Poga.
yeah. So whatever. He was like not even a light heavyweight to be honest with you. So I don't know. I don't know if the finish is on the table. I actually, the way I would play it, I do like Usman minus 138. Seems like there's value on him. He has the more fights. He's the more, I would say this lightly. He is the more well-rounded fighter, but I think Peterson's striking kind of sucks. So I like the overs though. Overs in this fight. I like the overs.
All right. Next fight of the night, we've got Luana Carolina minus 110 versus Lucy Pudilova minus 110. Um, I've said this so many times on my video, or our videos, sorry, if you watch these, that I've always thought of Luana Carolina as just some terrible, awkward, extremely awkward striker. But slowly but surely, she's kind of like proven that somehow it's effective in her own way. Like I don't know how, but it is. So it looks terrible. Like the technique doesn't appear to be there whatsoever, but it just somehow kind of works for her. And she's shockingly fairly durable. She's shockingly pretty good at stuffing takedowns and using her like length and leverage to kind of reverse like trips and stuff like that. So I just think this is an all around ugly, ugly fight. Like you just said with the last fight with the overs, I think this is overs all day. Like I think this is a decision. Um, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Luana Carolina can win just with volume and coming forward and using that herky jerky, awkward ass striking. So I'm gonna pick Luana Carolina, but there's no way in hell that I would put my money on it. What do you think?
Yeah, it's third. Lucy Pudilova, like low volume striker, not even striker. She's been used, she likes to use some wrestling here and there, but I personally don't think she's going to be able to get Carolina, whatever you want to call her, to the ground. Um, I think Stoliarenko has better wrestling than Pudilova, and Stoliarenko couldn't get her to the ground. And she also won that fight before that against Petrovic. So I guess she stopped whatever hype train that was there, right? So her last two losses before that were to Joanne Wood and Molly McCann. So it's not like they were totally really that bad, right? So yeah, man, but her volume isn't the greatest either. You're looking at like, once in a while she'll throw 100 strikes, but you're more or less looking at like 65, 50 to 55 to 65 strikes. So yeah, this might look like a really boring fight. The overs are freaking live to hell, and yeah. I'm going with Carolina in this one. It's
All
so
right, moving. It's a bad one. It's a bad one. This whole card is bad. Like UFC, you should be embarrassed about putting this card out. All right, next fight. Well, at least it's the Apex, so they're not selling tickets because I don't know who the hell would buy them. But next fight of the night, we got Loic Radzhabov -110, Trey Ogden -110. It's lined as a pick 'em. Um, and I know we've said it about the first two fights, and I think it's coming here as well. I see another over. If you think Trey Ogden will not get the takedowns, Radzhabov should kick his ass on the feet. But Trey Ogden has that very suffocating, boring ass veteran style of grinding and using that grappling. And it seems to be working for him lately. He's been getting a lot of wins by using that wrestling and grinding grappling. And Radzhabov can slow down and he can be taken down. So I think this fight's going to be fucking boring as hell. And Trey Ogden's going to pull off another lay and pray or whatever, like just out grapple him, out veteran experience him or whatever. I'm rooting for the Radzhabov knockout, but I think Trey Ogden wins this fight, and I like the over again. What do you think?
A Radzhabov knockout in the last fight, it's in a fight that I think he was losing it to that point, up to that point as well, right? So, and he's I feel like he's really dependent on his takedowns, and in some fights his gas tank looks good, sometimes his gas tank looks bad. That last fight, his gas tank looked good in the third round, and then the fight, who was it before that? His fight he didn't look so good. So, it's hard for me to tell with Radzhabov what you're going to get. Now, on the other hand, it was Martus Rebecki. He looked like crap. So, what you're going to get with Ogden is what you're going to get with Ogden. A guy that's going to throw out his jab there and duck under and get three takedowns possibly and control, right? So, Trey Ogden won his last fight, three takedowns, controlled the guy, 3 rounds. Controlled, boom. It's boring, but these are the kind of guys we like to bet on for sure, bro. This is the guys that control, man. But anyways, aside from that, I think he's the smarter fighter. I think he's a little bit more well-rounded, and I think he for sure has the better gas tank. 1000%. Not that Loic has a bad one, but I think Trey has a better one. Overs are live. I'm probably gonna bet Trey Ogden by decision. I might put both guys by decision and take the over for sure. But yeah, that's where I am going on this one.
All right, I agree. Moving on, we have got fan favorite Miranda Maverick coming in at -220 versus Dion Barbosa +180. To a certain degree, you could say it's grappler versus grappler, but Barbosa is more of like a submission grappler, whereas Miranda Maverick is more of a wrestler grappler. I think in a fight like this, I mean, if you've watched her videos forever, I've generally been against Miranda Maverick. I think she's susceptible to being outstruck, and she's susceptible to being actually out grappled if you shoot takedowns on her. But in this fight, when she's the one shooting the takedown, she's fairly effective at it. She seems to be getting better and coming into her own lately. I have to give credit where credit's due. She has looked a little bit better. I think Miranda Maverick will be able to get the takedowns here and control the fight. Again, I don't love her and I don't love her at -220, but I do think she wins this fight. And another one where over 1.5. Miranda Maverick and over 1.5 for extra value. What do you think?
So I think -220 is actually pretty good on Maverick, to be honest with you, because her only three losses are to I believe it's Jasmine Jasudavicius, Erin Blanchfield, and Macy Barber, right? So in fights that she's supposed to win, like Andrea Lee, Cachoeira, Shayna Young, Mazo, you always get her at like -350, -400. So I watched a little bit of this Barbosa girl. Her wrestling, she's the ultimate. She's a great grappler when on top and somehow gets on top. Mavericks minds her P's and Q's. She should be the stronger person here. Should be able to push her around. And honestly, I think she's the better striker. So, wrestling in reverse might be the best move here. And just go striking with this girl. Because who'd she fight? Barbosa fought that Karen Ketty girl in the first fight. She only won, and it was really splitty. It might come up as like unanimous but in my eyes, it was very close. And she made it close because she doesn't really have any hands when she's on the feet. So honestly, I think Maverick should not even touch the ground. Just keep this on the feet. She's got the better striking. And yeah, she's got -220 seems good.
All right, there you have it. Moving on, we got Brian Kelleher coming in at plus 170, and you got Cody Gibson in return, minus 200. Kelleher has fought the way better opponents. I mean, he's lost to a lot of them, but he has the experience. Obviously, he got knocked out by Cody Garbrandt. I assume that's his last fight. I don't recall seeing him since
I
then.
can't exactly, but
Yeah, but he got knocked out pretty bad against Cody Garbrandt. He looked terrible. Cody Gibson, also a lot of losses, not exactly a great fighter, but Cody Gibson at least is a dog. I think he's training way harder. He's in way better shape. Brian Kelleher looks extremely soft. Um, I'm not so sure I want to put my money on either of these guys. Like I said, they both have a ton of losses, but I just think there's way more fight in Cody Gibson at this point. So I would definitely side with Cody Gibson to outstrike and beat up Brian Kelleher. What do you think?
I think the same. But like both guys are like three losses, four losses down in the UFC. Like so, it's tough to actually put real money on these fucking guys, right? So, I mean, Keller is known for his guillotine, known for some punching power, but what is he known for these days? Not much. He's getting subbed. He's getting knocked out by Cody Garbrandt. Like you said, nah, Gibson's losing a fight to Miles Johns where he gets outstruck 25-18. Pretty pathetic, actually, after coming off that badass Katona fight, you know what I mean? So, I mean, he lost a unanimous decision to Miles Johns, gave up two takedowns and got outstruck 25-18. I don't know, man. That won't even beat Brian Kelleher. It won't. That effort won't beat Brian Kelleher. So I'm a big old pass on this, but I think the age has something to do with it, and I think Kelleher is probably going to retire after this fight. So that's just me drawing conclusions and assuming things. But yeah, not one to put your money on, folks.
All right. Moving on, we got Jung Young Lee coming in at minus 175 versus Hyder Amil plus 150. Jung Young Lee is the far superior athlete. He's chiseled. He's going to be bigger. He's going to be stronger. He's going to be quicker. With Hyder, we don't 100% know what we're getting. 9-0, hasn't really fought anybody. He did beat Blake Builder, and Blake Builder in his own right is a pretty good athlete. Like, I mean, he's definitely in good shape. Uh, Very tough fight to predict. It seems like everybody thinks Jung Young Lee is going to kind of steamroll Hyder. I don't necessarily think so. Um, I could see a world where Hyder wins the decision, or it for me, it's a straight up pass. It's a straight up pass. I will not bet on either of these two fighters. What do you think?
I don't have a listen. I like the dog here because it kind of reminds me of the way Steve Garcia later on this card goes along and fights, right? So Jung Young Lee is a far better like technical striker. He's going to want to keep this at range. He's going to jab. He wants to come in. He wants to mix in takedowns. It's the same thing that Hyder Emil wants to do, but in a more grimy, more powerful kind of like he wants to just enter the pocket, grab you, slam you, punch you, like. And I think Lee's not going to be ready for this. And I think if Emil's gas tank holds up, because that's what Steve Garcia's biggest problem is sometimes. If his gas tank holds up, I think he can finish this guy. So I'm going out on a limb on this one. You got to pick a dog here and there. And there's not many dogs on this card that I like too much. So I'll take a shot on Hader, especially more in the DFS manner than anything else. No big money, guys.
I, I agree. Like I said, I was before I said it straight up passing, I was kind of leaning Hyder as well, so I'll side with you. Moving on, we got Ho Choi plus 140 versus Bill Algeo minus 170. Um, I am not the biggest Bill Algeo fan. I've bet against this guy many times, but in this spot, I have to side with Bill. Choi just hasn't won a fight in forever, and even when he did, I mean, who was he really beating? Like old Thiago Tavares and shit. Like I don't know. Bill at least has been in there with real fighters recently, and yeah, Kyle Nelson finished him. He still didn't go out. And I mean, he's won some. No, I don't know. It's everything says Bill to me. there actually appears to be value on Bill here. I can't believe I'm saying that because, like I said, I'm not a big fan, but it seems to me like there's value here. What do you think?
Back in the day, he was the Korean Superboy, and we all wanted to see what the Korean Superboy would do. And he hasn't won a fight in 8 years, and it's hard to bet on a guy that only fights one time, 4 times in 8 years, right? So he's Korean, so he probably went back to serve in the army. I'm not, that's just a guess, but I know those Korean fighters do it all the time. Mr. Perfect did it, and a couple other guys did it as well. So that takes some years off of his career. I think he'll be slower to the punch. I think Bill can actually mix in takedowns here because Do Choi is not very like grindy like a Kyle Nelson, like a strong kind of guy, you know. It would have been hard for Bill Algeo to mix, so if the striking's not working for him against Nelson, what's plan B? Plan B is hard to take down Nelson. He's a fucking stocky, grindy guy. It's the opposite of the Korean Superboy, right? So yeah, I think the bag of tricks is open for Bill. Seen him use the ground game once in a while. Also, I think he has the motor. And Korean Superboy hasn't shown the propensity to knock out people like Cal Nelson in 8 years. So yeah. Siding with Bill, I think he plus Bill's been pretty active in the last few years too, right? So 2, 3 times a year at
Do
least, maybe four, right? So
you agree that that could be pretty decent value or no?
I think it's pretty decent value, and I also think it's fucking going the distance as well. I also think it's Bill Algeo by over 1.5 if you want to not be too greedy, but like if you want to be greedy, take him by decision, I think. I don't think he's gonna finish Superboy. Bill Algeo doesn't really finish anyone. He doesn't have the punching power usually, unusually. But yeah, but minus what, 130? What's he, one minus 170? It's not bad.
I mean, all right. Moving on, we have got Cody Durden minus 125 versus Bruno Silva plus 100. This fight seems like it's super even. They seem like very similar fighters, even to be honest, to a certain degree. Uh, Cody Durden's win over Charles Johnson is aging really well now because obviously Charles Johnson's on a heater. So that looks really good for Cody Durden. But for some reason, I still feel like Bruno Silva can win this fight. I think Bruno Silva can be the more effective puncher and he can be the better submission grappler. The whole thing comes down to whether Cody Durden can grind him and wrestle fuck him. That's what it's going to come down to. And Cody Durden can do that to a lot of people. He did it to Charles Johnson. So I mean, he's definitely capable of doing that. I think the line is priced fairly. I think if you're on the Cody Durden side, for all the reasons I just said, for grinding and for takedowns, then there is value on Cody Durden. I actually wish Bruno Silva was a bigger dog. Then maybe I would hit him uh, if he was a big dog. At the plus 100, I'm not sure that I like that. Very close fight. Again, overs, all live. What do you think?
It's funny that both these guys' last losses to Giro Ulanbekov, right? So but that was Ulanbekov's first fight in the UFC against Bruno Silva. Then Bruno ripped off 3 wins. Then he's had a hiatus. I don't know. He probably had some injuries. I haven't looked into it or his Instagram over the last year and a half, and he hasn't fought. But he was a well-rounded guy. But the guys he was beating was like JP Buys, I believe, Tyson Nam. He knocked out he stopped Tyson Nam, after knocking him down. That's a big deal because
Good win.
prior to that, I don't think Nam's been ever knocked down, to be honest with you. And if Cody Durden doesn't want to play in the wrestling too much here. I mean, Tagir and Bruno went 5-4 in takedowns, right? And then he hasn't been taken down ever since. So it's not like Cody Durden's gonna go, but the only thing about Cody Durden is that he's a relentless wrestler, right? So he'll go 11 times and try to take you down. But at the same time, he tires himself out, right? So I don't know. This one's a tough one. It's pretty 50-50. You'll probably know after the first round if Cody can take him down or not. If he can take him down, he's probably going to win this fight. But if he can't take him down, Bruno's got a 50-50 shot. This is a tough one to call. I'm leaning Cody. I think he's
Might
going
be a
to.
live betting situation.
Right, right, right. After you see that first round, if the takedowns are coming real quick, you want to hit that line, right? But if they are coming and it's still even money, I mean, Bruno Silva's going to be some value at that point if he can't get taken down. Durden's hands aren't great. They're not bad. he might sport a couple knockouts or knockdowns, but you know, I think Bruno Silva has the better striking. But anyway,
All right, moving on. We have got Ultimate Fighter winner Kurt Holobaugh coming in at plus 110 versus Kenan Kruschwsky. These are two fighters that have good grappling, so I don't think there will be any submissions here. Uh, Kurt Holobaugh doesn't have the greatest wrestling, though, so I just don't think the grappling is going to come into much play here. I think this is going to end up being a striking match. And although Kurt's not a bad striker, I think Kanon is the more powerful, more dangerous striker. So I am going to lean Kanon to get it done at minus 138. I think that there even might be value there, but I'm not so sure I want to play it. My gut says to play it, but I just haven't seen enough of him to know if I want to invest my money yet. I want to see more of him before I bet on him, but my gut's telling me that he's going to beat him up on the feet. What do you think?
and it's more of like I feel like I watched those fights, his past fights, and he's more of like he likes to take it down to the ground, and that's what Kurt Holobaugh like. That's his problem. So I feel like he gets grinded here a little bit. Just kind of like that Ogden, but I feel like Kanan actually pushes the grappling, pushes the subs, pushes the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on you when you're on the ground, right? If this stays a kickboxing match, again, maybe a live betting spot. If this stays a live kickboxing match, I feel Kerr Holloway is the better kickboxer here. So that's what I feel. I think he has the better kickboxing. Against who did he fight in the Austin Hubbard in the with that it was Austin Hubbard in the finale, right? This is all those were his only wins in the last like gazillion years. I was looking at his record the other time. It's just you see the Austin Hubbard win and then a whole shitload of losses around him. But you can't base your pick on that. I base it on the style, right? So I feel like when they were standing up, Austin Hubbard shot reactionary takedowns because he was losing the stand up. And I feel the same way here. Um, Kenan's going to shoot reactionary takedowns when he starts losing the stand up. I just don't like his striking. Um, all of us takedown defense, kind of shady. So it's tough to bet on that, right? Like if he had like half better takedown defense, I'd hit him all day. I have my reservations here. I like him. I lean a little Holobaugh, but I have reservations. So maybe a live bet is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I've never seen it with Holobaugh personally, but not that I'm saying that Gainon is great. Like, I don't know, low level fights. I mean, neither are going to
Yeah.
be doing anything.
If I
All
say,
right, moving on to probably the funnest fight on the night. We got Stevie Garcia Jr. versus Sangwoo Choi. Every time Garcia fights, it's fun. Every time Choi fights, it's fun. Like, I think this is going to be a barn burner for however long it lasts. You know that a Steve Garcia fight is ending in a knockout. All of his wins are knockouts, and if he loses, it's usually him getting knocked out too. Uh, the pace is just too frantic. The power is too crazy. There's not going to be many feelers. This is going to be somebody going down. It's going to be somebody going down quick. First or second round. This fight will not start round three, in my opinion. It absolutely will not. Give me Steve Garcia by knockout. Will not shock me if he gets knocked out, and I'll be looking to play this first and second round, like all the unders, no submissions, knockouts. What do you think?
give me Steve Garcia. I just think, he shows durability, he shows resilience. I don't know if he has better striking or if it's just more powerful. The power is big though. Um, he can be taken down. Who was it? Who took him down and laid on his back for like the whole fight? I think it might have been his
I know
favorite.
exactly the fight you're talking about. I can't think of it right now, but I know exactly
Shit.
what you're
It
talking
was
about.
Silent Bob Ross. What was his damn name? Luis Pena.
And yet,
Right? Oh God, that was such a boring fight. And he does get taken down because Mel Costa took him down before he knocked him out. But Sung Choi, man, is he winning till he isn't winning? Like he got KO'd by Trezano and a split decision loss to Holobaugh. Like and he subbed by Alex Caceres after winning every single thing. But he had a little bit of resilience against Jarno Evans. That was the big one because Jarno Evans actually showed out to be a decent fighter in the UFC, right? So I just like Stevie Garcia here. I'm not saying anyone's a little bit. I think Sung Woo Choi might be a little bit more technical, but I don't think technicals is what's going to win this fight. You know what I mean? This doesn't seem like a technical battle to me. They're not going to be standing at range, and like I think Stevie Garcia is going to come right after him. Remember that shit show he put on Chase Hooper, right? That was jokes, man. You knocked him
That was
down.
amazing.
That was good, man. So I mean, I'm not even gonna. I don't think this hits the ground at all. And you know, Sang Choi has this way of losing fights that he's winning, and Stevie Garcia has this way of winning fights that he's losing. So yeah, I like Steve Garcia here. I think it's Steve Garcia by knockout.
Yeah, like I feel like if it was like a tactical sparring match or whatever, like point fight, sure, Choi all day. But I think
Yeah,
Garcia's too fucking grimy, like too fucking
uh,
too much dog in Garcia.
I don't think he lets it be that. And anyone that's ever tried it on him, he doesn't let it be. The only time I've really seen him get like controlled was that Luis Pena fight, like controlled, where he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" Right?
All right. Moving on to the co-main event, we've got Brad Tavares versus Jun Young Park. Strange co-main event, and one I can't get a great read on. Obviously, Jun Young Park, he loves to take you down and he loves to get the rear naked choke. That's what he likes to go for. Get the backpack, get the rear naked choke. He has a decent jab, and in fairness, his jab is decent. And then Brad Tavares, he's just like your typical tough fucking. I'm going to assume he's Samoan or something like he has that look or whatever. Like he's just a tough dude. He can definitely take a beating. Good leg kicks, good striking in general, and good takedown defense from what I can remember. I don't really ever remember seeing him truly get grapple fucked. So in a fight where Park can't get it to the ground, I mean, what's he gonna do? Jab for the whole time? Maybe, but I kind of think Brad Tavares can win a fight if it's all on the feet. And then obviously, if Jung Young Park can take him down, then yeah, he's gonna backpack him for 3 rounds. Because I don't really think he's gonna submit Brad Tavares. Uh, Weird fight, strange all around. Don't love anything. I haven't even looked at the odds. If there's a big dog, I would take the dog. If it's dead, even I think I would pass. What are the odds here? Oh, Brad
130.
Tavares plus. What's that?
Yeah, Tavares plus 130.
Yeah, I don't know if that's enough for me. But like I said, dog or if the odds get wide, I'll take the dog. Don't love either of them. Don't feel overly confident. Again, I like the over the halfway point. What do you think?
I like Tavares here because Jung Park, his strengths are not what Tavares usually loses to. So Tavares' last few losses have been to Gregory Rodriguez, a power puncher, Silva, a power puncher, Dricus Duplessis, the champion, Edmund Shembazian, a power puncher, and Israel Adesanya, who was the champion. He's beating the Weidmans, the Akhmedovs, the Junior Carloses, the Jotkos. And that's what I put Jung Park in. He's almost like a what's his name? A Jotko and Antonio Carlos put together. And so, because he likes to take guys down and just jab you like Jotko, right? So I don't think he can take him down. I looked it up while you were talking. 81% takedown defense from Tavares. So he doesn't really get controlled on the ground, right? So if John Young Park can't control him on the ground, what is he going to? He's going to go to that jab, right? But is that jab all he has? It's a jab 1-2 sometimes, and maybe, but he never throws any power. It's always touch, 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 touch. I'm not saying Tavares is going to knock him out too. But I think Tavares has got a little bit more than the jab left. And if you can't knock out Tavares, if you can't take him out, then I think he comes after you. So yeah, I like Tavares over Jung Young Park in this spot. I think people might be down on Tavares, but because he get knocked out those last 2 out of 3 fights. But against power punchers, do not throw Jung Young Park into the power punching echelon of the division. So yeah, I'll take a shot here.
Oh, over 1.5 for extra value.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. John
Yeah,
Tavares by decision. John Tavares, sorry. That's my Maple Leaf coming out. Brad Tavares by decision.
dude, we're seeing a lot of overs and a lot of decisions on this card.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
All right, next fight, we've got the main event. We've got Amanda Lemos plus 110, the underdog to the extremely boring Virna Jandiroba. Um, I have never liked Amanda Lemos. I don't know why. I don't know if it was maybe she just fought a lot of my favorite fighters or for whatever the reason. I've never been big on betting her. But I'm fucking rooting for her this fight, man. Verna Jandiroba knows how to make every fight a goddamn snooze fest. When she fought Marina Rodriguez, she absolutely ruined that fight. When she fought friggin' Luke, like just it's the same shit every fight. All she wants to do is get on her knees and fucking scoot your fucking shitty little double leg takedown and lay on you for the whole fucking round. She does nothing, and I do not want to see that for 5 rounds. She does no fucking damage. I don't know, man. She drives me fucking insane. And the crazy thing is, Amanda Lemos has terrible takedown defense. So this fight scares me. Like Amanda Lemos has terrible takedown defense. So I think Verna Jandiroba is gonna win this fight by decision and piss the whole world off. And yeah, I don't know. By this point, I'll probably be angry, drunk from all the shit fights, anyways. But I will be screaming for Amanda Lemos to fucking knock this girl out or submit her or something. Maybe pull one of those crazy chokes that she pulled out of her ass. And I don't know, man. I'm going for Amanda Lemos. I think Verna is going to lay on her for 5 rounds and piss me off. Verna Jandiroba decision. And that's probably the play for me because I'll be happy as hell to lose that bet. What do you think?
Brenna Jandiroba is probably going to wrestle her, take her down once every fucking round, and lay on her like she has for her past three fights. So she's averaged three takedowns for the last three fights, or had three takedowns in each of her last three fights, or something like that. And how can you say that you not know what she's going to do in this fight? Because that's what she's going to do. I mean, right? You don't. Lemos is just above 50% in the takedown defense. She gives up at least one. One. It only shows one for that Mackenzie Dern fight. But also Amanda Lemos, we both watched that fight at the Shoeless, remember? And she has such questionable take down defense, but then she also has questionable fight IQ because she's taking down Mackenzie Dern. That we were like, what the fuck is wrong with you to get reversed? And now,
While Durden was rocked.
right, the while Dern was wrong, and now she spends the rest of the rest of that round on her back, right? Like, ugh. And I can not say the same thing for Verna. At least you know what you're going to get. You're getting some girl that's going out to wrestle. You're getting a girl that's going out to control. You're not getting a girl. She's not going to keep it on the feet long enough for Amanda Lemos to knock her out or to stun her. I don't feel like that. Any little thing Amanda Lemos does on the feet to make Verna uncomfortable at all, see ya. She's ducking, right? So at least you can bet on something like that though, because you know it's gonna happen, because that's what she's gonna do, right? So if I have a strong lean, it's Verna. Sucks, but it's Verna. She should do what we want her to do, and yeah, Lemos shouldn't be able to stop it. So I'm strongly leaning, unfortunately, to Verna, but I feel like it's the right play based on styles.
Styles make fights, and unfortunately, her stinker of a style should prevail here. There you have it, guys. That's our full card breakdown. I watch every card. I watch every fight on every card, prelim to the main event, and I am always excited for betting and looking forward to the cards and everything like that. I just can't get up for this one. I will be watching it, of course, as always. I almost feel like I have a fucking problem here betting on these fights. Like, am I a gambling addict that I have to bet on this shit? But I'm still going to. I'm still planning on winning like we always do. Please like, please subscribe. Let us know if you have a pick that you disagree with, or if you see a certain prop or something that sticks out to you. Because you know what, some of these fighters we don't have the most tape out there. So if you know something we don't, let us know. I'd love to hear it. And hopefully we all smash Saturday, and hopefully some of these fights that are boring on paper come out and excite and are better than expected. Until the next time, have a good one, guys.